Hey, and welcome everybody. And welcome everybody. This is Sherman Ray, Black Success Magazine, the podcast. We come to you every single day, Monday through Friday, about 8:30 to about 9 o'clock in the morning. And we talk about the people, the trends, the news that is really there to feed your mind, your body, and your spirit. And the thing about it is that's all we talk about is success. How are we going to help you as a business owner become a successful business owner? And today is no different than anything else. We're actually talking about today. We're actually going to talk about 7 ways that you can find out if you are really ready to be a business owner. And we've talked about aspects of this before, whether or not or how to start a business. I mean, we've talked about that a lot. But I think even more important than that is, are you even ready to be a business owner? And that's probably going to be our biggest thing today is, we'll talk about 7 keys to that. So, and before we get even started with that, this is the week, folks. Black Success Magazine is coming out this week. Very excited about that. We've been working on that project for, gosh, it seems like forever, but it's really only been about a year that we've been really working, focused on getting the magazine out. You still have a chance to get it. It's going to be out this week, and actually in the next couple of days. And if you'd like a copy of Black Success Magazine, the podcast, or Black Success Magazine, the real magazine itself, a digital copy of it, send us an email to info@blacksuccessmagazine.com. That's info@blacksuccessmagazine.com. And you can get a copy of the magazine. Very excited about that. It's full of great tips and tricks, stories about people who have done some great things. And I think it's going to be inspiring. I really do. I think it's I don't know, moving forward, it really kind of just lends itself to what we're doing here at Black Success Magazine. So if you would like a copy of the digital edition of Black Success Magazine, send us an email at info@blacksuccessmagazine.com, and we'll get you going. Okay, so today we're going to talk about 7 keys to determine whether or not you're even able, are you even ready to become a business owner? Now, a lot of us want to become business owners. I mean, really, you've been working corporate grind for, who knows how long. You might have been, I don't know, working for a shoe manufacturer, a watch guy, or you worked in a restaurant or something like that. And finally, you've done this. You've said, I'm up to here with it. I'm just up to here with that. I'm done with, working for somebody else. And if you're like me, you've probably been telling all your buddies about it too. Oh yeah. Yeah. Before I, before I got out of the building trades, because I was an electrician for many years, worked on building huge buildings here in Las Vegas. Before I got out of that, years before I got out of that, I was already telling people, guys, I'm done. I am completely done with this. It's not as though I don't love every one of you, love everybody, but I'm done. And so emotionally, I was ready. Emotionally, I was just spent. And, as a business owner, you've got to say to yourself, or as somebody who's thinking about starting your own business, do I have what it takes? Because you've got to be more than, I'm sick and tired of, doing this, to actually get out there and do the thing. So let's talk a little bit about that right now. So first point, are you ready to start your own business? Well, the first thing you want to know is, do you play nice with others? Yeah. So this is important. People skills don't come easily. And a lot of people who say, okay, I want to start my own business, they think that they're going to go in and they're going to just run roughshod over their employees. And they're going to be mean to them. And, they're going to do that kind of thing to people. And as a business owner, that's not the way it's going to be. No way. It's just no way. You're not going to, as a matter of fact, I ran my last business I had before, working on Black Success Magazine. and the Black Business Chamber. I ran a restaurant for 7 years, and you become the employee of your employees. Okay, you are the servant leader. There's a book. There's all kinds of material out there talking about servant leadership, but that's really what you become. You become the servant of everybody, and yes, you own everything, but your best employees are really what's going to make your business run. And if you cannot be nice to your employees, and if you can't treat them right and treat them, value them, and give them what they need all the time, not just every once in a while, all the time, and it's very tough, then that's something you're going to have to work on. You really have to work on your people skills. We'll focus on that later. As a matter of fact, I'll write myself a note on working on people skills, okay? Because this is before anybody starts a business, they should probably take an aptitude test, find out if this is real, if they're going to be able to play well with other people. Because unfortunately, you're going to, as you hire people and you're trying to build your brand, you're trying to build your company structure and the whole community thing, you're going to run up against people that are just, you hire them because, boy, they've got great talent. Okay. You're not really looking for their attitude. You're not looking for that you're looking for their talent. Well, once you've got these people in the door, now all of a sudden you've got to change and you've got to start treating these people really well, or you're going to lose them. And that's really one of the biggest reasons why you want to check to say, hey, am I a people person? Do I do well with other people? And if not, can I work on that in my own life? Number 2, are you smarter than your boss? Okay, no, are you smarter than your boss? So there's a book called, do I have it here? Oh gosh. So for those of you who are watching us on YouTube, you can't see it, but I have actually my bookshelf right next to me now, which is real cool. You're on YouTube, or excuse me, on Facebook, you can see my bookshelf right next to me. There's a book called The E-Myth Revisited, or Demystified. And so what it talks about is there's 3 kinds of people who are in business. One of those people is the guy who's been working, let's say a watchmaker. You're working at the watchmaking shop and you've just developed this great knack for doing whatever you do. I mean, you're just smart. You know how to do a watch inside and out. Not only that, but you're actually even smarter than your boss who started the company. And the boss is saying, hey, you should do this. And you're going, no, there's no way. This watch, this thing, whatever I'm working on, works so much better if you do this, that, or the other thing. That's a great sign. That's one kind of business owner. Okay. It's not the complete package on a business owner, but that's a pretty clear sign that you might want to work in your own business because you're actually smarter than your boss. You actually know a lot more about their product, their service, their focus than your boss. And that's not a bad place to be at, but it's just a starting place. Okay, so I just want to let you know that's just a starting place for most people. It is not the end all to be all. So there's a lot more. And if you get the book, do I even have it up here? I don't have it up here. I think I might have lent it out to somebody. But knowledge of your product or service is key to you starting a business. Before I started my restaurant business, we actually went to school for it because part of the business actually involved coffee roasting and coffee and being a barista and stuff like that. So we actually had to go to school for it. My wife and I went to school for it, not only just to learn how to make the product, but to learn how to manage the product, manage the restaurant, the whole thing. So knowing your product, but going above that, do you know more than your own boss? Maybe something that you really think about that is something that could be an indication that you might be on track to owning your own business. Let's go to the next one. The next one is, are you a role model at work? Do you serve as a role model at work and at home? there are people in your business, and we've probably all seen them before, that we look at those people and we go, my gosh, that guy or that girl is just the best. They are the best at what they do. And I want to be like that person at work. They come in, they're sharp looking, they're always dressed, they always look like they're ready to work. Okay. It's not as though they have to dress up like moi, but they look like they're ready to do business. They're always ready. They've always got the pencil sharpened. They've always got the calculator, they've always got the reports all in a row, because you can tell these people are the poster child for their company. That person right there is and if let's say you're already owning a business, that's the kind of person you want next in line for you. John Maxwell is real big on this. He says there is no success without a successor. If you have a business and you see somebody who's like that in your business, that's the kind of person you want right next to you. You want them right next to you because you're going to lead them. They are going to be the next person who's going to lead your company, or they're going to leave your company and start their own company. Either way, that's a key to the kind of person that is going to be a rock star. That person is a key to somebody who should start their own business, is that they are a role model. I mean, you don't have to ask them to stay in an extra hour at work. Okay. You don't have to wonder, you don't have to have the watch on and go, oh, are they going to be at work? They're there already. And they are ready for everything else. They've got their paperwork all, that's the kind of person that you want. So as we're talking about this today, if you possess that as an employee, let's say you're an employee and you're working for Mr. whoever, and that's you. I mean, and I'm talking about you, and you're going, yeah, that's me. I'm always there. I'm ready. I'm always ready to do my thing. You don't have to tell me to be ready at a certain time. I've got my address book. I know where I'm going all the time. I'm the guy that people look up to. If you find that you are the person that they keep lumping all of the responsibilities on, that kind of thing, then you know that that's a key that you might check it off of my 7 steps, 7 keys to knowing whether or not you might be ready to own your own business. Not a bad idea. Let's go on to the next one. This is, and this is going to be key. So write this down. You have a thick skin, like a rhino. Okay. You have a thick skin. Okay. Business is not for the faint of heart, or the kind of person who gets offended very quickly. Business is sometimes dispassionate, sometimes very analytical, it's very factual based. If you're not doing the right thing in business, people are going to tell you. Or if you are doing the right thing and people just don't like you, or they just, somebody comes up and they just have a bad day, they're going to tell you. But you as a business owner, or you somebody who's thinking about getting into business, or you as an employee, you cannot take that personally. And you can't let anybody get you off track to where you're going. If you're on a success journey, like most of you are, I know you wouldn't be listening to me today if you weren't on a success journey. You cannot allow other people to tell you, go to the right or to the left, because you're laser focused on where you're going. If that is you, that might be a key. It might be a key that says, I am ready to start my own business. Because I can be very laser focused. I learned a long time ago that if I want something, I'm going to get it. And as an electrician, so I think people should, a couple of things people should do in life is they ought to become an electrician, because, and not just any old electrician, a union electrician. And the reason why I say that is because when you are going to school, they teach you that nothing is impossible. Okay. And or nothing cannot be done. And the impossible just takes a little bit more time. Okay. There's nothing I cannot do. There's absolutely, other than having a baby, That's the only thing I cannot do if I put my mind to it. And that's the kind of thick skin you've got to have. As an employee, somebody who's on the journey, and you're saying, okay, I'm wondering if I could start this business, or I wonder if I can do this or I can do that. A clear indication that um, you might be ready to start your own gig is that you've got this thick skin. I mean, you are just like saying, hey, you know, yeah, let's say you're making sales. Okay. Salespeople, this is a great, I think salespeople get this. If you can go through 100 no's to get that one yes, week after week after week after week. Yeah. If you can do that, guys, guess what? You might be, you know, if you allow things to roll off your back. I know I'm belaboring this, but this is important because in business is not like, oh, it's gonna be fine. Everything's gonna be wonderful. It's not. Business is tough. And if you think that you're going to be able to do this in a week, a month, a year, 2 years, there's a reality check that needs to take place. And if you fold after the first person says no to you, then you probably shouldn't even think about going into business. Okay, so we probably want to talk about starting a business. You probably shouldn't go into business at all. But if you're the kind of person that can stick in there and say, "Oh yeah, I will be there until I cannot get up." Okay, Cool Hand Luke. No, Cool Hand Luke. Paul Newman is in a fighting scene, and he's fighting against one of the big guys in the jail, right? And the guy in the jail says, he knocks, Paul Newman down, and he says, "Look, just stay down. You're beat." And he's like going, "No, unless you kill me, that's it." Okay. That is business. Okay. I know it sounds really dramatic, but it's true. It's very true that business is like fighting because that's what you're doing. The people who have the most faith in business are entrepreneurs, because it takes a lot of faith for you to get up each and every morning and trust that the Lord is going to bring that person in the door. Trust that idea that you're working on is going to move that much closer to being reality. So you've got to have that kind of thick skin that says, okay, I'm going to wait. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it and do it until nothing is left. I'll tell you a real quick story. Okay. I know I'm belaboring this point, folks, but I've got to get this into your spirit that, thick-skinnedness in business is probably more important than anything else, because it's really going to keep you going late at night, early in the morning. The guy who started Honda, his name is, I think it's Hiro Kish. Oh gosh, forgot the guy's name now. Okay, anyways, the guy who started Honda Motor Company that we see now, Soichiro, I think his name. When he first started it, he had the dream of working for Suzuki or Yamaha, one of the other companies in Japan. And all he decided to do is he said, "Look, I've got an idea to work for this company," and he was a great engineer, but the things that he had to go through, I guess the point I'm trying to get to here, and I'll make a long story short, is he went through so many obstacles to get to the point where he was actually able to even not just turn a profit, but just to get a stable base to get his business going. He had 2 or 3 factories burned to the ground. I mean, not just burn up, to the ground, and he was out of business completely. It was just by sheer fortune and sheer will that he was able at one point to create a motorized bicycle so that people could get around Japan to see Japan. And people started buying that idea, that concept of just driving around with a motorized bicycle. If you read the story, and I think it's Soichiro Honda, that if you read his story, it will bring tears to your eye because you're saying to yourself, how can this guy keep going through what he's going through? Just quit, go work for somebody. It's just so much easier to work for somebody. And no, he said, no, I've got a passion. I've got a deal. I've got a thing that I'm going through here that is driving me on. And that's what it takes. I mean, it just takes that drive for you to become successful. Okay. Let's go on to the next one. Okay. You're a money manager. Okay. Can you practice managing your money? And so money management, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on money management because it's one of my weak spots. I'm not driven by money. That's my biggest thing. But you've got to be able to manage your money. That's important. You've got to be able to say, okay, I can take $50 and I can make it last here, or I can apply it here, or I can save it here to apply it down the road. That's kind of the whole idea behind money management. So let's. So I'm gonna. I know it. I should probably spend more time on it, but that's really not my biggest motivator. I'm more of an idea guy. So I'm gonna. So I will go on to something else. Okay. Do you have savings in the bank? This is more important. is savings in the bank. Okay. So starting a business is as much about capital as it is about the idea behind the business. Okay. What I mean by this, especially in the Black community, especially women and minority owned business owners, one of the biggest failings that happens in both of those communities is that the failure rate is correlated, or there's a correlation between the failure rate and the undercapitalization, which means you don't have any money. Okay. So before you start in a business, figure that whatever number you think it's going to cost for you to have your business, multiply that by at least 3 or 4 times. And then you need to have at least a year's worth of money in the bank to hold you over. Not so much because you might have to dip into it. It's because you will have to dip into it. Okay, you will have to dip into it. And you don't want to have to be begging your parents or your friends or looking for a venture capitalist in your first year all the time. And that's just, so women and minority business owners tend to not focus on that. They've just got this passion. They've got this, vision. Oh yeah. I want to start a business. And they go into a business undercapitalized and invariably fail. The failure rate is a lot higher because of the undercapitalization, which means you don't have enough money. So savings in the bank, as you're kind of going about even the idea of starting your own business, stashing money, putting it away, put away a year's worth of your salary or what it's going to take to keep your salary of your employees in the bank. You want it there. Okay. So whatever you're thinking is in your business plan, you're going to be thinking about this. Whatever you're thinking about as a capital that you need to float this boat for a year. Okay. That needs to be in the bank. It really does. This is very serious, folks. So and every business owner finds out the hard way that this is a reality. You find out that there's always a bill that comes due, whether it's some kind of taxes, it could be a light, it could be a health inspector comes in, tells you, and this would happen to me. He tells you have to tear out your entire bar, and you go, "Oh shoot, what do you mean I have to tear out my entire bar?" Yeah, like tomorrow, and you've got to have the money for that. So that's really important. So savings in the bank is another big one. Wow. And lastly, the passion for whatever you're doing that you can turn into cash. Are you passionate about what you do? Okay, that's one thing. But can you turn that passion for what you're doing into cash? I love business. I love talking to people about business. So I've got the passion. You love whatever you're doing in life. You could be making baskets, you could be a cook or a chef. Okay, you've got the passion to do that. You dream about it at night. Okay, okay. Now, can I turn that into cash? Can I monetize that? And that's the important part about it. Okay, you have to have a passion. Okay, and we call that in business, we call that the why. Okay, what is your why? Okay, why are you getting up? What's going to keep you in business? What's going to keep you motivated on a daily basis? Because I'll tell you, if I didn't love what I do, I couldn't talk about this every day. And I do it every day. It's something I love doing. I love imparting knowledge, but it's more than that. It's something I will study. It's something that I will look for other people and try to get that in me because I love it. Even if I wasn't talking to you about it, I'd be talking to myself about it, and I'd be using it on myself. So you've got to have that passion. Let's say you're a chef. Do you love just getting in there and whipping eggs and looking at the enzymes and the proteins and all? I mean, do you geek out about what you're doing? Okay, that's the important thing. Are you geeky about what you do? And not only that, can I now turn that into something that I can make a living at? That's important. It really is. So if you, as a after hearing these 7 keys, if you can say, yeah, I'm digging, I'm sure I'm on all 7 cylinders of what you've been talking about, then you've got a good shot at this. I mean, you've got a really good shot at becoming a business owner. And we can talk about that later. Okay. So that was it. So, folks, once again, this has been Sherman Ray, Black Success Magazine, the podcast. Our the magazine is going to be out this week. If you would like a copy of it, then just send us an email at info@blacksuccessmagazine.com. That's info@blacksuccessmagazine.com. We'll get you a digital edition of the magazine. It is free. All you got to do is write to us and say, "Hey, Sherm, I'd like my free copy of it." Love to get that in your hands. It's it's got such great stuff in it. It really does. And I know there were a lot of people who wanted to become advertisers in the magazine, and we had to cut it off. We just had to. We couldn't wait around for everybody to get into it. So if you'd like to, we'll be putting out another magazine here in another couple months. If you'd like to be an advertiser, send us an email. Just send us an email, and we'll take care of you. We'll get you ready for the next edition. Got some great things happening in 2021 coming up. I'm looking really forward to that. So some of the things are just more than fantastic. We're truly blessed here at Black Success Magazine, and so we just hope to continue to be a part of your life. So this has been Sherman Ray, Black Success Magazine, the podcast, and we come to you each and every weekday, Monday through Friday at 8:30 to about 9 o'clock. And so we'll see you again tomorrow for more Black Success Magazine, the podcast. So we'll see you later, folks. Bye-bye.